Hi, Jeff McLemore here from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, talking about bass guitar playing. I had the question asked to me, how does the bass fit into the ensemble? When should I play? When should I not play? How does it all work out? Let's say, for example, that we have a choir, keyboard or piano, guitar players, maybe 2 guitar players, bass player, and no drummer. What I try to do in that circumstance, I try to be the person that gives really good rhythm. And to get ready for that, many years ago, I trained with a metronome. It about drove me insane. But I would set up different tempos and do like quarter notes, dun, dun, dee, dun, 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 and just do that for like 5 minutes, not let it go, so that I could really lock into a tempo. And then everybody else kind of feeds off of that. Even though there's a director, you still need something down in the foundation, and that's where the bass really fits in so well. Do you always want to have the bass in there? The answer is no. In fact, there's been times when somebody has said, hey, give me a part, come up with something for a song. So I'll come up with something and I'll look at the person, I'm shaking my head, I'm like, I don't think I should be in there. So it's okay if the bass doesn't play. It's also okay if you're in a piece of music and you decide, like, well, let's say we got 4 verses, for example, all right? Dynamics are really important in a piece of music. Say that verse 1 and 2 are louder. So yeah, I'm in there playing when it's louder. And then at the end of verse 2, or at the end of a refrain, we're going to verse 3 and get it really down quiet. I might drop out entirely or come way down dynamically. I kind of like getting out. And then just find the right spot. The trick is finding the right spot to sneak back in. And I said sneak, because I'll kind of hit it gently and then build it up a little bit. And then verse 4, you're usually loud again, and you take it out to the end. That's just one scenario, all right? With drums, we kind of have to coordinate, and it's the same sort of thinking, like, okay, well, which verse are we going to lay out on, whatever. So lots of times with drums, the drums might not come in at all until verse 2. They might want me to come in on verse 1, which is fine. And I'll just do usually whole notes or diamonds, as we call them in the studio, or half notes maybe. I'm not really driving very much because I'm waiting for that drummer to come in and really start pushing things. By the way, I'm not a drummer at all. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I tried it one time. I can't dance either, but subject for another day. But anyway, I kind of coordinate with the drummer, and I always like to be very close to the drummer also, because that way there's no time lag between the two of us. Like I'm watching the kick drum pedal, trying to figure out the patterns. And you do want to work, like if you got a boom, 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 if that's what the kick drum's doing, you want to try to match that and just be exactly with that. And then again, it's okay if you come in on verse 2, for example, like I was trying to say before, and then you both are playing and everybody's in, and then you might have a quiet verse 3. Might have an a cappella verse 4. So then you're out completely, until maybe the very last note, and then just sneak one in quietly. So that's kind of how I think about ensemble playing, and I'm always listening, because if there's other I'm trying to think of the word, sorry. Like, for example, if you have an oboe player, clarinet player, saxophone player, or violin, which is also great, anything like that, you want to simplify a little more. You want to leave them room to play. I had one example in a recording studio, just for a quick story, where I asked the producer, what is going to be on this song, because it looked like it was going to be very complicated. It was like a rockin' tune, pretty quick. And he said, well, we're bringing in horn players and string players. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got to play really simple. So the client comes up, and we didn't have the horns there, we didn't have the strings there, and I'm just hearing it in my head, thinking, okay, I'm going to play very simple. Well, the guy wasn't happy at all with what I did. He was very young, very inexperienced. Is that what you're going to play? I'm like, well, yeah. He said, well, I want something crazy like that. And I looked at the producer, and the producer's going, so, so I tried to explain to the guy, well, if I do all this, then what are the horn players going to do? What are the string players going to do? I want you to do that. Okay. He said, can't you do that? I said, sure, I can do it. Well, that's what I want. I said, okay, fine. So I did it, and I went into the main producer in his office, and I said, I'm filing a protest. You're not going to like what we did, and I'm explaining why. So later that night, he called me up on the phone. Can you come back in and fix your bass part the way you were telling this guy? I said, yeah. And I ended up making an extra $100 because this guy would not listen to me. Not that I'm the greatest expert in the world, but again, when you're bringing in extra players, obligato, that's the word I've been trying to come up with, obligato instruments. When you bring that in, you want to kind of, again, simplify, just back off a bit. I hope that's helpful information.